We have new information this morning on a burning car that was abandoned in the middle of the road in South Fargo. Police now say a homeless man ran away from that vehicle after apparently dropping a cigarette in the car. Firefighters were called just after 9:30 last night to Feichner Drive and Westrack Drive. A short time later, Cass County deputies found a man pounding on the door at the nearby county jail, saying he was high on methamphetamine. He told them his car was on fire and he was running from police. Authorities say 38-year-old Garrick Lee Martin said he was driving down the road using meth and smoking cigarettes when the inside of his car started on fire. They say Martin left his car in the middle of the road and then ran away. He was arrested for reckless endangerment. Empty parking lots at West Acres Mall could be a thing of the past come late this morning, and things inside, they're going to be a little different for shoppers. The mall will be open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., but only a small number of stores will be open to begin with. The anchors like Macy's, Best Buy, and Crave will have separate hours. As for shoppers, all are welcome, but people under 16 will have to come with an adult. Furniture has been taken out and several hand sanitizing stations have been placed throughout the mall as well. Now, for a full list of what to expect with the reopening of West Acres, just find this story on the VNL News app. Taking that look outside right now, it's looking like a beautiful sunrise just peeking over the horizon there. To see if that's going to lead to a beautiful day, let's head on over to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green.
Looking beautiful, not feeling so beautiful out there today. We've got that sunny sky ahead of us here, but cold temperatures that are going to be impacting us this morning. We are below freezing in every location here in our viewing area, or right at freezing. So we're talking frost. We're talking a freeze going on, especially up north. For anybody who has started that spring season early with plants and flowers out, I hope that you took care of those and brought them in or covered them up here. We're at 27 degrees right now in Grand Forks. It's 29 in Fargo, only 21 currently in Fosston, and 23 in Langdon right now. Our winds are out of the north. They are about 5 to 15 miles per hour, so not very strong, but just that northerly flow enough to continue to drive in that cooler air with clear skies for most of us. A couple of clouds up by Lake of the Woods, but other than that, looking pretty good. So here's a look at our forecast for today. For Fargo, we've got that sunrise now around 6 a.m. So it's nice to see that sunrise earlier and earlier. And we'll keep that sun around through the day. Expect to have temperatures that are going to be rising into that 50-degree range. That's about it. So not a warm one yet again today. And then heading into the afternoon or rather evening hours, we'll watch as temperatures drop yet again as our next storm system starts to develop as we head into Saturday morning. And speaking of, here's our snowfall potential for Saturday and maybe lingering into early Sunday. Not looking good for a lot of places, especially in northeastern North Dakota, if you want to avoid the snow. So we're going to talk more about that, what that means for you, and the timing of this too, coming up for a big holiday weekend.
All right, a lot to talk about. Thank you, Lisa. Officials are looking to identify COVID-19 hotspots in and around Fargo, which has had more confirmed cases of the disease than any other community in the state. With the rate of COVID-19 cases and deaths in the Fargo area continuing to dwarf the rest of the state, Governor Doug Burgum is calling on local representatives to help slow the spread. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney is part of the newly created Red River Valley COVID-19 Task Force and says he believes the city and the county can, in his words, test our way out of this. Meanwhile, North Dakota health officials are confirming 49 new cases of COVID-19. Cass County has the highest number of confirmed cases at 709. Grand Forks is second highest with 275. In North Dakota, the total number of positive cases now sits at 1,371. No new deaths are being reported, keeping that total at 31. 601 people have recovered from that virus. In Minnesota, the numbers have risen to more than 9,000 cases. 786 more cases are being identified, bringing the total to 9,365. 508 people have died, an increase of 23 from the day before. Of those deaths, 407 were living in a nursing home or an assisted living facility. 5,308 people are listed as recovered. Now you can find a complete breakdown of the numbers on the VNL News app. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and state officials have a new battle plan to protect Minnesotans living in long-term care facilities. It calls for expanded testing for residents and workers, providing on-site troubleshooting and personal protective equipment, ensuring adequate staffing levels as well. and partnering with state agencies as well as local and regional public health organizations to reduce the transmission and limit exposure.
The good news is if you do this right and the preparation that we have now, the second wave we can do a lot more about. Because if we were setting where we're setting today, first part of February, even the middle of February, the trajectory of this thing is different. And I think that's what changes.
The Minnesota Department of Health says 407 of the state's 508 recorded COVID-19 cases, as we mentioned earlier, happened at nursing homes or assisted living facilities. A major meat processing plant in Sioux Falls that temporarily shut down due to a COVID-19 outbreak is now back open. Smithfield Foods is beginning a phased approach to reopening after receiving confirmation from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the U.S. Department of Agriculture that the company is in compliance with both CDC and OSHA guidelines. The plant closed on April 12th after a COVID-19 outbreak sickened hundreds of employees. The company says they plan on being fully operational by late May. The largest coal-fired power plant in North Dakota is shutting down and will replace most of its energy with new wind farms in Minnesota. Great River Energy says its Coal Creek station in west central North Dakota will be shuttered in the second half of 2020. The plant that has operated for more than 40 years employs 260 workers. The North Dakota Stockmen's Association says there is some old-fashioned cattle rustling going on, and it's telling ranchers to keep a close eye on their herds. There have been reports of butchered cattle in Dunn and McKenzie counties. The Stockmen's Group is offering $14,000 reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest of anyone stealing, butchering, or shooting livestock. Still to come here on the Valley today, we have encouraging news about a Minnesota police officer who was shot in the head earlier this year. But next, not so encouraging news. It's going to be a cold one. A lot of folks below freezing right now. Lisa Green explains that in our forecast right after this.